This is the Barrow Dyad Exotic Strand SMG 720 RPM style, also known as the Frisbee. Look at it. It's a Frisbee. And let me tell you, this season, this thing is packing a little bit of heat. I do just want to say that in the gameplay, my SMG is at its weakest form. It has its lowest stats, no catalyst perk, and it's still out here being pretty greasy. And with this new SMG, we can make a pretty fun and honestly, not too shabby build. Now, it's not the best, but it can definitely get the job done. We are going to be on the Warlock, and we're going to spawn a bunch of chaos per se. Here's an example. So yes, we're using this SMG to create a lot of the strand madness that strand can offer, such as a whole lot of threadlings, spamming the unraveling debuff all over the place, spreading dot damage through our melee, and in some instances, in some of the more healthier enemies, we can even sever them. And this SMG is the glue or the sauce, the catalyst that makes all this work. It's what starts it off and what makes it go. Granted, we do have some compliments to it, but it's the main star of the show. And for what we're using it to do, it's pretty darn good. I will say this one more time, this is definitely not the best world stopper showcaser game wrecker build, but damn is it a nice fun play style to go ahead and play around with. Get off this. Alright, now that we have a couple examples and stuff like that out the way, the idea of what we're going with here, let's go ahead and hop into the breakdown. Alright, so obviously the MVP or our juicer magooser of what's making this go around is our friendly neighborhood Frisbee, alright, this new SMG. What is this weapon actually doing? When we were doing damage, you're generating blights, and then when you reload it, you convert them into stored blighted seekers, which obviously do more damage and they don't miss type beat. Trust. Also, you build it up quicker if you hit multiple targets. So keep that in mind when using this weapon. So since our goal here is to make a lot of threadlings, why the fuck do I have a storm grenade? Honestly, I was just messing around with it. Obviously, for the most optimal, you would want a threadling grenade, okay? Let's not cap or kid ourselves here. You would want the threadling grenade. You want the arcane needle big time, trust me. And obviously, feed the void goes hella hard. So a fragment that I really like is Facet of Balance, because whenever we rapidly defeat enemies with darkness damage, we're gonna get grenade energy, which we're doing obscene amounts of dark damage between our SMG, Blighted Seekers, the Unraveling rounds, the Threadlinks. There's just so much. So we're going to be getting a lot of grenades through this fragment alone. Very good. Also, things like Facet of Protection, Facet of Purpose. These are fragments that they don't come off. they just simply do not come off. I like Faceted On for Radiant for more damage on the weapon. Can never go wrong with that. Also, you might notice that we don't have Faceted Courage. We have Faceted Solitude. Well, not doing much light damage whatsoever, so we're actually going to get use out of Faceted Courage. So instead, we have Faceted Solitude. Rapid precision hits amidst a severing blast from the target. While Transcendence, the severing blast is bigger. Boom. Another strand debuff. How are we getting unraveling rounds? Well, my friends, we have the artifact for that, okay? Unraveling orbs. Huge. Picking up an orb of power or a tangle, grand strand, weapons, unraveling rounds. Mwah! Oh my god. Free! This is free! You know what is also free that we pair with this bad boy? You already know. Horde Shuttle. Damaging unraveled targets with the weapon occasionally spawns a threadling. Most important artifact mods for this build to really get going. You're gonna make lots of tangles, you're gonna make lots of orbs, you're gonna have unraveling orbs up so often. And Horde Shuttle complements this beautifully. Also, shout out to Weaver's Call with Phoenix Dive. That's just free threadlings on demand. And that is how we're getting most of our juice, okay? Now, obviously, with Prismatic comes the exotic class item. Now, this one's very niche, but it works perfectly for this type of build. Spirit of Necrotic. Damaging targets with your melee poisons them. Obviously, this pairs amazingly with our Arcane Needle. Also, defeating a poison target spreads the condition. Hello, we're keeping it locked down with something like this. And honestly, this right here, Spirit of the Swarm, pairs beautifully. Destroying a tangle spawns threadlink. So when we pick up a tangle, we get unraveling orbs, and then when we throw the tangle, we're gonna spawn more threadlings on top of all the other threadlings we're spawning. This is what leads us to just spawning an entire army of our green little minions to go do our heavy lifting and bidding. For the purposes of sheerly making as many threadlings as possible, you would obviously want Spirit of the Swarm the most. If you can't get both of these, which is how exotic class items can be, don't expect many people to have this exact role, but if you do, hey, look, build for you, my man. Boom. Now for mods on the actual armor, look, dudes, I always like to rock the Holy Trinity of Proximity Ward. Dude, Powerful Attraction. You never take this mod off. Never take this mod off. This is how you pick up orbs, aka proc your woven mail and your unraveling orbs from a distance without having to get into harm's way. And you can never go wrong with Special Finny. No way, dude. Obviously, we got a Harmonic Siphon, Harmonic Loader for the SMG, another way to make an orb on demand, scav, and recoup on the boots. Same old, can never go wrong with. And then, look, I feel like your energy can change whatever. The printer is never going to be a bad option, as the printer is just going to make you a lot of orbs. Not to mention, this season, the printer is really good because you can go with stuff like Volatile Marksman, Malign Harvest, and Void Flux really helps the printer be an even better printer. It's like you're overclocking your printer, and we're always gonna like overclocking our printer. Absolute dub. Heavy ammo or heavy weapon just depends on what you're doing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we get the Frisbee to be a minion spawning menace.